The fourth step that I kind of had in this process of transitioning from wanting to be full-time paramedic for the rest of my life to being an entrepreneur was kind of having a period of identification, saying like, okay, what are the things that I am going to have to do differently? What are the things that I need to start changing in my life? Because you've already gone through and you've identified what are the things that are holding you back. So now it's, what do I need to actually do about it? What are the steps that I need to take to do that? And that is something that is very specific to each individual, because everybody's life's different. All your past is different. Your traumas are different. Everything that you're going to need to work through is going to be very different. That's not an excuse for, oh, well, I can't do it. No, you can. Your story is going to inspire somebody somewhere. Even if it's just escaping a life of mediocrity, your story can still inspire people, and you can still make a difference. You can still, I know it sounds very, cliched, but you can still go out there and make an impact in the world. But you literally have to start with yourself first, because your mind and your body are so intertwined that to affect any change outside of you, you need to start with changing inside of you first. An obvious first step in that is your mindset, changing the way that you look at the world around you, the way that you look at hardship, instead of looking at everything through the eyes of a victim. Oh, this horrible thing happened to me. This was, this awful thing is holding me back. Look at those as challenges to say, hey, this is going to make the end result so much better when I can beat this. And you need to be very detailed in this. It can't just be, oh, well, I'm just going to eat better. No, you need to specify how you're going to eat better. You need to specify what are the steps you're going to take to change your mind. And the way I look at this is I look at our minds as like an engine. The kind of fuel that you put in it is going to affect how it performs. If you're constantly putting, if you put kerosene in a gas engine, obviously it's not going to do shit. Or if you put gas in a diesel engine or vice versa, it's just not going to work. So you need to look at, what kind of fuel am I putting into my brain? What kind of things am I choosing to adopt and change? And nothing's off limits. There's nothing in your life that is like a safe space. It's like, oh, we can't touch that. Nope, you gotta touch all of it. You gotta get in there and deconstruct it all. And that doesn't mean that you create chaos. It just means that you need to go through and reevaluate everything that you assumed is true, because everything that you assumed is true is what got you where you are now. And if you want to change where you are now, you need to go and change the things that led you here, like we talked about before. Be very specific in identifying, okay, I need to change how I eat. I need to change the books I'm reading. I need to change the people I'm spending time around, because the people that you spend time around have a dramatic impact on your future. There's an expression, I can't remember if it was Jim Rohn or Dan Pena that first said it, but it was basically, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. So yeah, you need to reevaluate who you spend time around. And honestly, once you start the process of changing your life and changing how you operate, you're naturally going to change up who you spend time around. You won't even have to think about it most of the time. And a lot of times, the people that you shouldn't spend time around, they will see themselves out. They will realize, hey, this isn't the same person that I was spending time around. This isn't fun anymore. And they'll just drop off. You don't need to make it a fight. You don't need to make it a big deal. And I would say the biggest mindset change that underscores all of this is getting rid of a victim mentality, getting rid of this toxic, woe is me, I've had such a horrible life, I can't do things. I have seen some amazing, wonderful, incredibly traumatized people do some pretty amazing things. In fact, if you actually look at who were some of the most successful people in history, they were some pretty traumatized people. They dealt with some pretty heavy shit. Don't be afraid to look at yourself and be like, hey, this isn't working. You have to change how you look at adversity and look at it as an opportunity to grow and not as something that's holding you back. Because everything that you conquer on the way to building the life that you want is going to make that success, that end game, so much sweeter.